Beetroots are colorful, reddish, nutritious, and healthy vegetable cultivated and used in the preparation of a lot of meals. Thanks for joining us on The Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Danyonam, and this week on The Ghanaian Farmer, we bring you the benefits, the commercial benefit of cultivating beetroots. And you can see one that I'm holding. This is a matured one, or it's almost matured, and the fruit is well bulbed beneath it. So when you harvest it, this is what you are going to see. We are all the way in the campus of University of Cape Coast here in the central region, and I'm going to be talking with a level 400 agribusiness student, Emmanuel, to tell us more about what is the passion, the drive for him growing this leafy and root vegetables on campus whilst also studying. Coming up is a profile that highlights on beetroot farming, and when I come back, I'll be talking to Emmanuel about beetroot farming here on campus. I'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Beetroot is a root vegetable that can be eaten raw, cooked, or juiced. Beetroot, which is high in fiber, folate, vitamin B9, manganese, iron, potassium, and vitamin C, has been linked to reduce blood pressure and enhance blood flow. Beetroot should be spaced 30 to 40 centimeters apart in rows and 7 to 10 centimeters apart in plants. Beetroot seeds are planted at a rate of 10 to 15 kilos per hectare. So gone by was a video or a highlight of beetroot farming. My name is Anyana, and you're still watching The Ghanaian Farmer. Please, if you just join us, remember to subscribe and share the link, and also get interactive on our social media platform. Emmanuel, thanks for joining me. I'm told you're a student. Which level are you?
400.
Level 400.
Yes.
Studying what?
BSc Agro Processing.
BSc Agro Processing.
Yes.
So what does that course entail? If someone here BSc Agro Processing.
When we talk of agro processing deals with the value addition of agricultural produce. For instance, crops that are being produced from the field and then that of animals. We make sure that we process them after they are ready or after harvest.
Okay.
We add value to it,
right,
so that people can consume.
Okay. So you are in level 400. And you're also doing farming, yes, aside studying, right?
Sure.
All right. So how many plots of vegetables do you have on campus or on your farm?
So far, I have 1.5 plots.
1.5 plots.
Yes.
Okay. And how many types of various vegetables are you cultivating?
I do leafy vegetables, and that's of bulbs and then root vegetables. Okay,
namely?
For the leafy, I have ayoyo, amaranth or alefi.
Okay.
And for the bulbs and the root, the bulb, I have beetroot and that of carrots.
Why these specific vegetables?
Good. When you look at central region here or campus here, these are the kind of crops that people normally like. So I think going into this, it helps me a lot to also learn.
Okay.
Sure. All
right. Now, what kind of land is good for growing these vegetables you mentioned?
For these vegetables, we need loamy soil. Loamy soil will be good for you to do this.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Our focus today is on the beetroots. Right. Now, before I have, or after I have my land, what do I do next?
Good. After getting the land, you have to clear the land.
Okay.
That's weeding or even plowing or harrowing.
Right.
Good. After that, you have to prepare beds. After you prepare the beds, you make sure that you also nurse your seeds.
Okay.
So after nursing the seeds, then you make your bed, you transplant. You need water as well, so that you can water them, because any living thing needs water in its life.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. Where do you get the seeds you plant from?
We normally buy them from the seed shops, and sometimes the school to provide us some.
Okay. How much does a box or a container of beetroot seed cost?
Good. It depends on the quantity or the size. We have 500 grams. Some are less than 500. Some are more than the 500. So mostly with the 500 grams, you can get it 120, 150 around.
For the half plot you are cultivating, how many grams did you use?
For the half plot, I use only half of the 500 gram. That is 250.
All right. So the nursery, when you prepare the bed, is it immediately then you sprinkle the seeds, or what do you do?
Yeah, after preparing the nursery bed, after you prepare it, you have to create in holes.
Okay.
Or you can cast the seeds
Right.
on the bed. You cover, and then you make sure that you get palm fronds.
Okay. So viewers, I let you see the palm front that has been used to cover a nursery that is being done presently, right? Okay, so those who don't know palm front, you will see the essence of palm front. Okay, so you cover, after you spread the seeds, then you cover it with palm front.
Yes.
And leave it for how many days?
Now for viable seeds, you have a minimum of 3 to 5 days. You should germinate. If the seeds is good, 3 days, it will be well germinated.
3 days?
3 days.
Okay. So is it at 3 days then you transplant?
No.
Okay.
After it germinates, you have to leave it there and then you'll be watering it, picking up weeds, and then stirring the soil for 2 weeks. That's 14 days. Then after that, you can then transplant them.
Okay. Even before you spread your seeds on the soil, do I apply any fertilizer or poultry manure?
Frankly speaking, mostly when you do that, the seeds do not germinate because most of the poultry manure or the compost, if it's not well decomposed, the seeds will rot due to heat.
Okay.
So we don't mostly apply the compost on it when we nest.
Do the nursery.
After it germinates, then we do the compost or manure application.
All right. You mentioned watering. How many times do I water my nursery bed?
Good. For your nursery bed, you have to water it morning and that of evening. Early in the morning, around 6, you can water. Then late in the evening, 5 thereabouts, you can also water.
Okay.
Sure.
So at what stage do I start, picking the weeds from it?
After it germinates, for about 5 days time, you see some small weeds also germinating. You make sure you pick those weeds. Then after that, you stir.
Okay.
The purpose of the stirring is to help air. That's what we call aeration to pass through so that they can grow quicker for you.
All right. Okay, so after 2 weeks, then the plants are ready to be moved to the main bed for planting, right? What should be the height or the level of my bed?
Good. That one is your own choice.
Okay.
It's your own choice.
Right.
But mostly, if you want it, you can make it maybe 2 inches or 3 inches. It will be okay.
Okay.
That one depends on how you want it.
Right. So on each bed, how many beetroot plants should be on it?
Good. It depends on the size of the bed.
Okay.
That will tell you the number of seedlings that you have to.
I'm using yours as an example.
Now, with my own, for every row, if they do not die, because sometimes when you transplant, some of them do die.
Okay.
So you have to do filling.
Yes.
So if they do not die, in every row, when you count,
6, 7, 8, 9.
you get it.
So like I can get like 10.
10
on each row.
on each row.
Okay.
That's how it is.
Okay. And what should be the specified distance in between each?
Good. It should be 2 to 3 inches.
Okay.
You get it between them.
Okay. All right. So when I finally do my transplanting with the distance, the specified distance and everything, what do I continue doing before I see these bulbs?
Good. After you transplant them on the main bed, for 1 week, you have to be watering.
Okay.
Morning and that of evening.
Right.
You have to be watering for 1 week. After 1 week time, you can do manure application.
Okay.
But you have to make sure that the manure is well decomposed
Okay.
before you then apply.
Okay.
So after you've applied the manure, you have to keep on watering for a week.
Okay.
Then you stir.
Okay.
When you stir, the manure will mix with the soil.
Right.
So as you keep on watering, it means that the nutrients, it can spread across for the crops to take.
Okay.
That's how I do it.
How long does it take beetroot to mature?
Good. Beetroot, you have a period of 60 to 90 days, depending on the variety.
In that case, do we have varieties?
Yes.
How many or how many types?
There are a lot of them.
So which variety do you grow
This
here?
one is Ace Red.
is red.
Yes, or red ball.
Okay. Okay. All right. So it takes, so this variety takes how long to mature?
This one takes you 60 to 75 days. It doesn't get to the 90.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So between 60 to 75 days,
Sure.
it's ready for me to harvest.
Yes.
How many times will I harvest?
This one, it depends on how you want the size.
Okay.
As you can see the two holding you, you see that one is bigger than the other.
Yes.
So if you want the bigger ones, you can do selective harvesting.
How will I know this one is bigger than this one?
You can see from the size. From the size.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's harvested once.
Yes, how? Once.
After
Harvested.
the harvest, what happens to the leaves?
Good. The leaves too is edible.
Okay.
You can use it as salad.
Right.
How they use cabbage and that of lettuce. You can use the same thing.
Okay. Are there any disease that affect beetroot? Because this one I'm holding here, it is deformed. Are there any disease that affects it?
Sure.
What are these diseases and how do I prevent them?
We have that of leaf blight that affect it and that of root rot.
Okay.
These are some of the diseases that mostly affect it. So what you can see right now is root rot that affected it.
Okay. So how do I control or prevent my beetroot from being affected? And then at the end of the harvest, then I'm seeing all of this.
Good. This is a very good question. One thing about this is on the field here, we do mainly organic.
Okay.
So we don't apply chemicals on this field.
Right.
So what we do is when you see that there is a disease that is trooping in, the first one that you identify that there is a symptom of any disease, you take it out.
Okay.
So that it wouldn't spread across.
Right.
That's what we do.
Okay. Now, when you harvest your beetroots, where do you sell them?
When in the school here we have sales unit.
Okay.
So when you harvest for the sales unit, they will sell it and then whatever share you need.
How much do you invest into this half plot?
Well, with this half plot, if I'm to calculate even that of labor, in addition of labor, it will cost me
Averagely?
500 cedis.
And then when you harvest, do you make profit?
Oh, sometimes, but most is balanced. You don't get enough, but you don't also run at a loss.
Chama, me, I'm looking out for profitable
Good.
farm to do. So don't
why,
discourage me.
The reason why I'm saying this is being a student here.
Yes.
My main focus is not on making the profit.
Okay.
But to get the idea, the knowledge in it.
And the experience.
You get it.
Okay. But on a whole, you make profit, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Half a loaf's better than none. So.
Okay. All right. It's worth it. So my name is Anyonam and this is still the Ghanaian Farmer. We are all the way in the central region, specifically in the University of Cape Coast School Farm. And presently I'm talking to Emmanuel Indego. He's in his early 20s and is at level 400 studying BSc Agro-Processing. They are the guys who are supposed to add value to the food crops we produce. But he says that it is always an excellent idea to know the source of the crop or the food you're going to add value to. Hence, he finds so much love in doing this. I'm going for a quick break. When I come back, we'll talk more about beetroot farming here in the central region. Thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, you're watching the Ghanaian Farmer, please subscribe to our channel, share the link so a friend, a family who is looking for a vocation to venture into can find a niche for themselves. But our focus today is on beetroot farming. It's a leafy vegetable, and I'm discussing this with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, now let's look at the weather or the temperature that is good for this kind of vegetable. What do I do with the weather? What should be the weather?
With this crops, they don't need a lot of cold. When the weather is too cold or chilled, they don't like it. They don't do well.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
So after you water them, they need sunshine. So the sun shines a lot, and then they get some little water. They are good to go.
Okay. All right. So what are some of the agronomy practices that I should do to ensure that my yield, would give me very, very big and, so I can get good harvest.
Good.
Basically, the good agronomic practices.
After transplanting them, you have to stir the soil. When the soil gets loosened, as they form the bulb, they can expand for you to get it. But without stirring the soil becomes compacted, and that one becomes difficult for them to expand, and then you get a big bulbs.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Now, my next take would be on the bed itself. When you transplant and some of them dies, what do you do?
So what we do is, when you nurse them and you are transplanting, we mostly make sure that if I want 2 beds,
Yes.
I have to nurse, and then what I'll transplant to be exactly 2 beds, leaving some, so likely 3 beds.
Okay.
But I'll transplant 2 beds, leaving a bed on it, so that if some dies, I do filling.
All right. So on one particular land, how many times can I grow my beetroot on the same land?
You can grow it depending on how you can work with the soil. Because
Okay.
what I'm saying is, if the soil is lacking nutrients, it won't do well. So if you can apply the compost or manure all time, you can do it.
Okay. All right. Between beetroot and the other vegetables you grow, I saw you have carrots as well and other things.
Yes.
Which one is more profitable?
But the beet is quite expensive.
In the market?
Yeah.
It is sold at an expensive price.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
Okay.
Because this one, as I said earlier, most of the diabetic patients and other staffs, they recommend beet for them.
Really?
Sure. So it's for some specific people, not all people. So mostly when moving in the market, you realize that you don't get them plenty as compared to the other crops.
Yes,
sure,
yes.
that is how it is.
Okay, so it's very scarce.
Sure.
Okay. Can it be cultivated all year round?
Yes, you can do. But as I've said, when you get to the rainy season, they wouldn't do well.
So it doesn't like too much rain.
Much water, yeah.
Okay, but I like the sun.
Sure.
Okay, okay. How tall can a beetroot plant grow?
For the tallness, most as you can see them.
The other side, we have the matured ones.
Yes.
So viewers, I'll let you see some of the matured ones. So you see how tall it can grow. These one are about how many weeks old?
This one, 3 weeks now.
Just 3 weeks. Okay, all right. But I realized something. Some of them are very little and some of them are a bit taller. Didn't you transplant the same day? Why is someone growing more than somebody?
Good. The reason being, some of them died and we did filling.
Okay.
That is how those ones are very small.
Okay. All right. Is there any challenges associated with, doing this kind of beetroot farming?
Yes.
What are the challenges?
There are challenges. As I said, some of them, when you transplant them, they will die. Sometimes there will be diseases.
Okay.
And if you don't take care, you lose hope.
Okay.
So,
The disease will break in there.
sure, that is how it is.
So like just like this one, for instance, it will break in and then you lose. Have you ever lost a whole bed to disease?
Not fully.
Okay.
Not a full bed, but at least 2/3 of the bed.
It's gone.
Sure.
I see. Wow. What have you learned as a student who is more of somebody studying value addition but also into farming? What have you learned that you can share with those who are into the pure farming, aspect?
Good. As a student and then a person who is growing up, I learn a lot because, sometimes you don't have to equip yourself with only one area.
Okay.
But at least you must get knowledge across of it, because when you get to a point in time that this field fails you, you know that you have
Another
an alternate
to rely on.
Sure, that is how it is.
Okay.
Because me being a processor right now,
Right.
when you get to a point in time that maybe there are scarce of commodities that I cannot process, I can come to the field and start my cultivation as well.
Okay. All right. That's an excellent idea. Now, my next take would be on, in that case, you mentioned that this crop is targeting certain people.
Sure.
How relevant it is for a farmer having who he's selling or who he'll be selling to before growing. How important is that?
Good. Before you even go into any other business, you have to look out for the people or the target market.
Okay.
The people that will buy your goods before you even start. Because if you don't do that, at the end of the day, you produce and then it will be there without anybody buying it for you. And you run at a total loss.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So how often do you walk through the farm to see if there are some weeds to do pruning? How often? Is it a weekly or twice in a month, or how often do I do my pruning?
Good. For even this one, you don't need to do pruning.
Okay.
The most important thing in this is stirring up the soil,
Okay.
picking up the weeds, and then watering.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's all.
That is
Okay. So about the watering, is water very, very important to these?
very, very important, because as for every living thing, you can't do away without water.
Okay.
So they need water. You water it morning and that of evening.
All right. Okay. Now, my next take would be on the marketing. Have you conducted a search apart from selling on campus? Have you conducted a search, and do you know the interest level or consumer level for this crop?
Well, not all that much.
Okay.
Not all that much. But
Right.
based on the research that I've learned online and other stuff, it's very productive, because without even sugar cane, you can even use beetroot to produce sugar.
Really?
Yes.
Sugar can be produced from
Yes.
beetroot?
Yes.
Wow. Wow, this is amazing. I didn't know about this.
That's how.
Sugar can be produced from
Of
beetroot?
course.
I see. Okay. In that case, have you considered some finished products you can make from beetroot apart from sugar?
Yes.
Have you done any search or conducted or read around certain, finished products that can be made from beetroot apart from sugar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, for the gari producers, they also fortify their gari
Yes.
with beetroot.
Oh, I see. Yes, I've heard about fortification of gari.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I see. That is very, very, very good. All right. Now, can this be done on a commercial base, or you just recommend it for small backyard farming people?
It can go for commercials.
Really?
Because, the reason why I'm saying this is, it is in, let's say, the central region here, or some parts of the country that we don't know much about it. But outside there, they know a lot about beetroot, and as I said, for the sugar production, they can get it. So even if you do it on large scale, I think you can even get these foreign companies and other stuff to even
sell to.
Good.
Okay. How do I keep my beetroot when I harvest it from the farm before transporting it to the market? How do I keep it?
Good. After you harvest them, as if you want the leaves, you make sure they have to keep them in a shady area.
Okay.
So that the sun wouldn't be scorching on it.
Okay.
Because as you can see, the
Yes.
weeds are weathering.
Yes.
So they must be kept in a cold environment. So
Okay.
mostly harvesting, you should make sure that you have to do it in the early morning or late in the evening, so that the leaves too will also look fresh, because the leaves and then the bulbs, both of them are edible.
Okay. Please, how long can I store my beetroot for? How long can it stay for before it
Good.
start losing its value?
Now, taking the leaves that will perish early, for the bulb can even last for 90 days or even 4 months.
Really?
Yes,
Just this one?
sure.
It can last for?
4 months without rotting.
Hey!
So you can put it there, it will last longer, very long.
I
without going
see. Really?
bad. Sure.
Wow. Then the lifespan is pretty good.
That is how it is.
Okay. Emmanuel, we are wrapping up our interview.
All right.
What do you have to tell young people who are not interested at all when it comes to agriculture? Neither are they interested in value addition. How has this benefited you since you started as a campus farmer and also somebody studying? What benefit have you derived from it, and what advice will you share to people who are watching you?
Good. As a student who is learning, you don't know where the world will take you to or where you find yourself one day. So you don't have to base on only one sector, that maybe I am learning, let's say, social science, or all my field is social science alone. You have to try as much as this thing, then you add other fields to it, so that in case one field failed you in the near future, you can then branch the other field, and then you can go.
Are you shy of being a farmer?
Never. Never. Sometimes I can even come on field like this with my working attire. If I'm late, I'll just speed up to lectures and I'll go sit there.
Okay. Has proceeds from these vegetables helped you in any way?
A lot.
What and what has it helped you? Does
A
it
lot.
pay your school fees?
Sometimes.
Does it feed you?
Oh, for feeding plenty because
Hey!
I love eating leaves.
Okay.
If I come on field,
Right.
I just pick some, then I'm off to go.
All right. Okay. Isn't this amazing? These are some of the interviews I love to do. If you're a smallholder farmer, especially a young person who is doing something amazing in farming and you want spotlight on what you're doing, just get in touch with us. Inbox me or call me on 0554-830-431. Please subscribe and don't skip the ads that are playing. Please watch the ad, continue watching and share the videos. That is Emmanuel. Emmanuel, your WhatsApp number and your social media, how can we find you?
WhatsApp number 0240-900-893.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook too. I'm Jesus Emmanuel Ndego.
Jesus Emmanuel Ndego. High five. High five. Thanks for doing great work. All right, see you next week.